camera's not. तू मेरे पीछे से 1 minute. Yes,
Yes,
kids,
you're
can
clear,
you all...
Prabhuji. Absolutely clear.
Okay, perfect. So Lekha Mataji, you can just do the muting, unmuting as and when required.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And kids, so today is chapter 15. But before we do that, we will begin with prayers and then we'll do a quick recap of last week. Not last week exactly, but the key, take homes that we did last week. Not all the chapters, but the key take homes. And then we'll proceed with chapter 15, which is yoga, titled The Yoga of the Supreme Person. All right. Thank you so very much. Mataji, who's going to lead us in prayers today?
Arna, would you want to lead the prayer? We'll be able to? I'll unmute you. Yes.
Okay, Arna. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
No, we can't hear you. No, we can't hear you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, we can.
I can't lead with the prayer today.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Very Krishna.
Who else?
Preferably someone who hasn't done it earlier. Has Haripriya done it earlier?
Okay, I'll ask Haripriya.
And kids, please put on your cameras. I can see only names. Yeah?
I've unmuted Haripriya.
Manya, Nishit, Bhargav, put on your cameras. We can, if you see, you will be able to interact better.
Unmuted Haripriya. No?
Priya Kumar, would you want to? I saw your hand raised. No? Okay, fine. Then, surprising, every day people fight. Today, no one wants to be there.
Sai Shri. Okay, Naman Pandey says me. Okay, fine.
Okay, Naman, you'll be unmuted. Also, if
I've
it's on the
unmuted
camera,
you. Go ahead.
on the camera, it'll be great.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, please lead us in prayers. Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapatkamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsta Shri Rupam Sagri Jatam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsta Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने कौर्तुषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभाणु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैरेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
Thank you so much, Naman. You said it very beautifully. You know, Prabhupada really wanted all kids to recite the beautiful shlokas, beautiful prayers, and I'm sure he'll be very happy. Very well done. Thank you so much. Okay, so chapter 15, but before we go ahead, a quick recap. What are the three modes of material nature? What guna is above the three modes of material nature? How can we attain that guna? And what is the Gigo concept? Who wants to answer? Please raise your hands, and then we'll give a chance only to the people who raise their hands. Okay, I saw Tanishka's hand up, so I'm unmuting Tanishka. Tanishka, what are the three modes of material nature?
The three modes of material nature are Sattva Guna, which is goodness, Rajo Guna, which is passion, and Tamo Guna, which is ignorance.
Very well, very well, very well. Okay, next, Mishika. Which guna is above the three modes?
Pure goodness.
Pure goodness. That's called Shuddha Sattva. Thank you so
Shuddha
much.
Sattva.
Very good. Okay, Arnav, how can we attain that guna? How can we attain that guna,
Sir,
Arnav?
actually, I can tell the Gigo concept, sir.
You can tell the Gigo concept. Okay, tell me, what is Gigo?
Sir, actually, it is get in, go out.
No, it is garbage in, garbage out. If you
Yes.
take in garbage, you'll get garbage out. And remember, what are the things that we discuss? Good we should take in. Some of the examples you remember? What are the good things that we discuss?
The things that we discuss, I don't remember it properly.
So it's basically good food, and then it is good reading, good association. All of that matters, because that will affect, like we discussed, if we watch a ghost movie in the night and we sleep with that, then what typically comes in the dreams are all ghosts and goblins, right? Okay. So Rian, you've raised your hand. Rian Patel, would you want to answer that? How can we attain that guna, that is Shuddha Sattva? How can we attain that guna? Simple process. How can we attain that? Rian? Rian Patel, I'm unmuting you. Yeah.
I've
One minute.
unmuted Riyan Patel. Unmute yourself, Riyan.
Rian, unmute yourself, please.
Yes, can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Now we can hear you. Yes.
Yes.
How can we attain that guna, my dear?
We can attain that guna by chanting the holy names.
Yes, the simplest process is chanting the holy names. Very good. Thank you very much. Now moving ahead, now chapter 15, all right, is a very interesting chapter, and it's the shortest chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, but super chapter. Okay, now I'm gonna just try my level best to explain that to you. Okay, the way it goes is, the first verse itself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. Now, how many of you all have seen a banyan tree? Quickly in the chat boxes, how many of you all have seen a banyan tree? And for those who haven't, you can have a look at the picture, okay, which is right there in this slide. Okay, so this banyan tree is normally a very huge tree with a lot of roots hanging, right? And what you see over here is a banyan tree and a reflection of the banyan tree. All right, so there's a little pond or a water body down, and you can see a reflection of that banyan tree. Now, what Krishna is trying to basically explain over here, I'll tell you with the help of a story. Okay, so then you'll understand this concept better. Now, so there was a king, and he had got his prince married. And when the prince got married, his wife who came, he gave a beautiful necklace to her. You know, that necklace was worth like some 2 crores, real valuable one. And it was her favorite. She loved it. And she would always move around with it. They were newly married. So whenever they would move in the kingdom, she would always be moving around with that necklace. Okay. And once it so happened that, she had gone for a shower, and she removed the entire necklace and all her attire, and she kept it. And this huge eagle, she came in, and thinking that to be food, she took away the necklace. Now the necklace was missing when the princess came back, and she said, "Oh my God, my necklace!" And when she went and told her husband, and then her husband told her father that, "Oh my God, the necklace is missing. My wife wants it at any cost." And obviously king, powerful ruler. So he immediately made an announcement in the entire kingdom. Anyone who finds that necklace will get 10 crores. 2 crore ka necklace, he'll get 10 crores. Why? Because it's so valuable, right? The princess wants it. Fine. So that was the announcement. Now, everybody in the kingdom was running around. Where can it be? Who could have stolen it? This, that, that whole thing was on. Everybody knew that the necklace is lost and it has to be found. So one day there was this young boy, who also knew about it, and he was moving across, going towards his fields. He was a farmer. And suddenly he came across something which was shining. And he looked at it. It was in the water. And he looked at it and it was shining. And he said, "Oh my God, there's the necklace. There's the necklace." He could see it shining down, and it was a crystal clear pond. So he could see it. So he went and he's trying to get the necklace out. Now, when he's trying to get it, he's not able to get his hands onto it only. He tried once, he tried twice. Then again, he was scratching his head. He's like, "Why am I not getting the necklace?" And then he came towards the shore, and he sat there thinking. Now, quite some time passed, he couldn't understand. So it was nearly going to be sunset. He said, "Okay, now before sunset, let me give one more try." And he went, and again he was trying to pick it up. He couldn't get it. And he was there in the water, standing, looking here, looking there. And in the meantime, what happened? There was a sage who was passing by from there. And he looked at this young boy. He said, "You're looking very baffled and confused. Is there any problem? Anything I can do to help you?" And that guy got very conscious. Arey, what if this guy sees it? He'll take it away. He said, No, nothing. Aap jaiye. Kuch bhi nahi hai. And the sage said, "Hello, relax. I'm not going to charge you or take anything from you. Tell me, I can help you." He said, "No, kuch bhi nahi hai, He says, "Be rest assured, I am a sannyasi. I'm not attached to anything. Tell me." So then very hesitantly he said, "Look at that necklace down." And then the sage also saw, and he said, "I want that. There's a prize on that. That's the prince's necklace." And the sage just smiled at him, and he said, "Wait, where is the necklace?" He said, "Look there." The sage said, "Wait, keep your hand here, head here." Now the sage just lifted his head up and his finger up. And actually what that boy was seeing, that young boy, was a reflection of the necklace, because the necklace was hanging on the banyan tree up in one of the branches. And when he could see the reflection clearly in the water, and he thought it's right there. So the sage said, "What you're looking for is up there, not here." Now, the reason I tell you this story is because it's a banyan tree story. And in this chapter, the Lord is comparing the spiritual world and the material world to a banyan tree. The only difference is the spiritual world is the real banyan tree, where the necklace is. And this material world where we are living is a reflection of that, right? So if we are looking for real happiness, like that boy was looking for the real necklace, he was finding it in the wrong place. Yes, which is the reflection of the real place, which is the supreme abode of the Lord. So this story essentially tells us what the Lord is communicating in this verse, that there is a spiritual world, which is like the real banyan tree, and this material world is a reflection of that. So if you're looking for something permanent, you will not get it here. All right. You will only get it in the spiritual world. That's what the Lord is saying. Now, tell me, if I put you all upside down for a long time, how long can you be in that position? How long? How long can you be in this position? For some time you'll enjoy, right? Sometime maza aega, right? You'll have fun. Oh my God, I'm having fun. I'm upside down. We do that on the swings, right? We go upside down and we really enjoy it. Yeah, sometimes there are some children who actually do stomach crunches like that, and they simply enjoy it. But if you're put in this position for a very long time, then you're in trouble, because then the blood gushes to the head and very soon you land up with a heavy head, right? That's exactly what is happening to us in this material world. We cannot, sometimes we may enjoy new iPhone, new gadgets, dining at your favorite restaurant, or having your favorite Big Mac burger, or calling for the whatever pizzas you like and whatever ice, all that can give you temporary happiness. But the more you stay here, the more you'll realize there is misery, because there is no escape from the four real problems. What are the four real problems? Who's going to tell me? Only raise your hand for this question. I see a lot of hands already raised up. Okay, I want it only for this question. Who's going to tell me the four real problems? Okay, Sanvi. Sanvi, the four real problems.
And disease.
Sorry, we didn't hear you clearly. Disease I heard before that.
Birth, death, and old age.
Birth, death, old age, and disease. Absolutely right. Thank you so very much. So those are the real problems over here. There's no escape from that. So you can't stay in this upside down position for long. Please, please, please remember. All right. So now let's understand through this little table, what is the difference between the material world and the spiritual world, which is what the Lord is describing over here. One is the real banyan tree and one is the reflection of that. All right. So the first difference is that the spiritual world is permanent, eternal, right? And our material world is temporary. And remember, I use this word dukkhale ashashvatam, right? That means it's a place of misery and it's temporary. It is real, of course, but it is temporary. The second is true love exists in the spiritual world. Unfortunately, in the material world, you don't really see too much of true love. It's maybe a mother's love is the purest form of love that you'll see over here, right? But essentially what you see over here is more of lust, right? Then the third difference is that there is true happiness, which is everlasting. But in this material world, you will find happiness. But have you seen a graph? It's like, or like a merry-go-round, it'll go up and down, up and down. So there is temporary. So there is happiness, but it is short-lived. It goes up and then you're down again, and again you're up and again you're down, right? Like something like chocolate. When you have chocolate, suddenly you get a lot of energy and you're in, and then again it puts you down. So that's called the sugar rush. And the fourth difference is that in the spiritual world, you have true relationships. And in the material world, you have temporary relationships, because sooner or later, time will pull everything away. No matter how good a relationship you have, how much of love, affection, all of that is there, but time takes things away. All right. So spiritual world, there is no sadness at all. But in the material world, we have to face sadness also. And the four problems are present in the material world. They are absent in the spiritual world. All right. So this is a very important slide, right? See it carefully and understand. Permanent, temporary. True love, lust. Ever lasting true happiness in the spiritual world, temporary happiness over here. True relationships, temporary relationships. No sadness, sadness. Absence of four real problems. And in the material world, we have the four real problems, and there is no escape from that. So typically in the material world, what you see two people just fighting, that this area belongs to me. And the other one will say, this area belongs to me, like two dogs typically fighting. But actually it belongs to neither. It belongs to the owner of that property, right? The dogs are just the guardians of that particular property. And that's what we forget. We forget that we are here temporarily, right? Even the demigods who have a lifespan of hundreds of years, even Brahma, who has like a phenomenally long life by human standards, is temporary. So over here, we also associate with these things. We have wrong identification. That means we are angered easily because of pride or prestige. If someone calls you a fool, right? How angry you will be. How dare you call me a fool? And why this happens is because we overreact to things. You know, we take everything literally, forgetting that ultimately as that eternal soul is unaffected. My body, this body is affected, but that's because of wrong identification, right? So the real identification is, yes, I am a fool. Why I am a fool? Because I left that abode. I was like that son who ran away and wanted to have an independent relationship. That is why I am here. So that is why I am a fool. Okay, if you have that thing, then that false prestige will go away slowly but steadily, and you will realize that, yes, I made that mistake, I'm not going to do it again. What is this illusion? We have this illusion, right? What do I mean by illusion? What I essentially mean is that I think I earned money, I am talented, I'm a super dancer, I'm a super businessman, but that's not the fact. A real person will understand that this has come to me due to Krishna's mercy. He gave me an opportunity to make money. He gave me an opportunity to study further, go abroad, become an engineer, become a doctor, become a scientist, or whatever I desired to become. It's his mercy, and because of which I could actually become that. And then we all have false association. You know, my family, my wife, my office, my this, all that is false. The true relationship is that we are part and parcels of Krishna, right? All of us are part and parcels of Krishna. Okay, now we come to the next important verse after Krishna describes the material world as the banyan tree example. Now, who's going to read this next verse for me? Mataji? Next verse, only the ones who want to raise your hand, who want to read, please raise your hand. Don't keep your hand up permanently.
Swarat, would you want to read? Yes? Okay.
Yes, Swarat, go ahead, please.
Yes. Those who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress and who know how to surrender onto the Supreme Person attain to the eternal kingdom.
Right. So Krishna is telling us we have to be free from dualities of happiness and distress. Even in earlier chapters, if you remember, he has said happiness and distress are like summer and winter season. They are going to come and go. You have to be free from those dualities. You have to understand that dualities are going to come and go. Like seasons change, it's going to happen. No possibility without it. Right? And when you surrender, that's when you reach the real banyan tree or the spiritual world. Till then, otherwise, you'll be here. Now, this is again 15.6. The next verse that Krishna says is super, super, super important. Okay, who's going to read that?
Freeram.
Sriram, go ahead. Sriram, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted.
न तद्भस्यते सूर्यो न स सन्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. Translation: The supreme abode of mind is not illuminated by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world.
Yes, thank you so very much for reading it so beautifully. So, why is there no electricity or sun moon required over there, kids? Who's going to answer this? Who's going to answer this? Why is there no electricity or sun moon required over there? Saishri, would you try to answer? I see your hand raised.
Unmuted, Saishri.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, why is there no sun, moon, or electricity over there in the Supreme Abode?
Because Krishna has that light.
Yes, beautiful. Yes, because everything emanates from Krishna. So Krishna's light is there. There's no need of artificial. And then we come to the most important line. It's in red, bold, underlined. Those who reach there will never return to this material world. Right? So, for example, once you've had Once you put your hand in fire and you've got a burn, will you ever do that again? Will you ever try to do that again? Once you were told, "Arey, this is fire, don't touch it," but you still touched it. Despite being told, "Don't touch it," you still touched it and you burnt your hand. Will you do it a second time? No, obviously not, right? So we have already suffered. We've come here. We've realized our mistake, right, of wanting to be independent of the Lord. And now, once we rectify this mistake and we go back, we are surely not coming back. We're surely not coming back then. All right. So that's why Krishna is saying those who reach it will never ever come back there. That is the most important thing. They will never ever come back. So what you see now on your
Prabhuji,
screen.
sorry, Prabhuji, Rashika has some questions. She's put up in the chat box.
Okay, 1 minute. I'll just take that. I haven't seen the chat. 1 minute.
Acha, okay, her question is, Shubhilas Prabhuji is coming.
Shubhilas Prabhuji is not
Okay.
coming today. He's coming on Thursday, which is the last day, and we're going to have a very long question and answer session that day. All right, so that day, keep yourself free. After 6, maybe till 6:30, 6:45, whatever, we will continue with question and answers. Okay, so that's the time we'll do all question and answers. Okay.
Yes,
So moving ahead, now that the picture that you see over here is a kind of a representation of where we were, why are we here, what is holding us. All right. So just have a look. What is the demarcation line that you see? The blue line that you see? And what do you see written over there? It is desires. So basically, we are bound in this material world because of desires. Now, what are those desires? It could be anything. It could be to do good deeds also. That is all your activities in Sattva Gun actually bind you. If you do pious deeds, you have to enjoy that. Na? So you'll be born rich, you'll be born beautiful, you'll be born knowledgeable, right? Or you're in your economic development. Arey, paisa, I want to earn money. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to be the best sportsman. I want to whatever. So that is driving you. Or you want to just enjoy your senses. Arey, I want to eat. I want to drink. I want to do this and that. All those things are basically binding you. So it is desires that hold us back, right? But as you see this complex world, see the world up and see the world down. Can you see the difference? One is complex with all roots, shoots here, there, all, it's like it's completely entangled basically. It has knots and knots and knots. And if you look up at the spiritual world, it's serene, absolutely serene. Now, how many of y'all would want to imagine what the spiritual world looks like? Well, want to try imagining? Yeah, just nod your heads. I'll see. I can see most of y'all with cameras on. Yes or no? Okay, so Sanvi is saying yes. Mrinmai is saying yes. That's it. 1 minute. Let me. Dimple is showing me her thumbs up. So that's good. Okay, fine. So what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to ask you all to just close your eyes, and I'm going to try and describe to you what the spiritual world is like. Okay, so ready for this little activity? So everyone just close your eyes. I can put your cameras on, so I know. Cameras on, eyes closed. And just take a deep breath. All right. Now, once you take a deep breath, just imagine a gentle breeze blowing. And when that breeze is blowing, you can just hear the flute of Krishna. And he's playing his beautiful flute. And there is a flow of Yamuna. You can hear the river flowing very beautifully. And there is lush green grass all around. There is a thick forest covered with trees and trees and trees and lovely flowers. And the aroma of those flowers is all in the air. And then suddenly you look around and you see peacocks dancing. And the birds are chirping, and you hear hundreds and thousands of different chirping. And when you move a little ahead, what do you see? You see Krishna playing with all his friends. And they are playing hide and seek, and Krishna is running behind them, catching them. And you're like, I want to play too. You scream loudly. And he holds you in his hand and he tells, come, come, play with me. And in that spiritual world, there is no school, no studies, no stress, no tension, only fun. And that also in the company of Krishna. And not only are his friends happy, even the birds, the deers, the cows, everyone is absolutely happy over there. Like it? Do you want to stay there or do you want to come back here? You want to stay there? Okay, open your eyes and just see the pictures. It'll give you a glimpse of what you must have just imagined. Now, isn't this what you just imagined? Something like this? Yeah, nod your heads, I'll be able to see. Yeah, something like what you imagined. Okay. And it was nice. And what I told you kids is not, it's not like a Harry Potter fictitious story. No, it is real. Our Shastras have mentioned what the spiritual world is like. So what I have told you is attainable. You can actually be there. In fact, we all can be there. We all desire to be there. We can be there. And we can actually experience that bliss. All right. Just imagine being one of those friends sitting around Krishna, as you see in the picture, and eating with him, or being, in the spiritual world, it's you may feel that being an animal is something bad, right? But I wouldn't mind being a cow that Krishna hugs and kisses, right? I would love to be that. So being an animal is also bliss. Being a tree by which Krishna just rests like that and puts his hands and just relaxes. So what we see over here is everything is existing in the spiritual world because it's a reflection. So trees, rivers, everything is there. It's just that we are seeing a bad reflection, which is temporary. And there is this real spiritual world, which is there, which is permanent. So that's our dream, that we want to be there and we can be there. All right. All we need is a little effort, right? So if we want to go back there, we need a little ticket. We need a ticket to go back. And that ticket is devotional service. That is what will get us there. But what you see in the current slide is what is holding us back. Because of this, we can't go. And who's going to read the reasons why we can't go? Who's going to read this for me? These are the reasons why we can't go. Mataji, you take a call. I can't see all the kids. So only the kids with the cameras on. I want the cameras on. So whoever's cameras on and hands raised, please give them a chance, Mataji. Thank you.
I'll unmute Mrinmay. Okay.
Okay, Mrinmay, please read that for us.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
The living entities in this
Conditioned.
conditioned world are my
Eternal.
eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind.
Yes. So what is Krishna saying over here? That we living entities, we are a part of Krishna. Okay, that's one aspect of what he's saying. Second is saying, due to this conditioned life, that we're in a conditioned state ruled by the three modes of material nature, and that is why we're struggling with our six senses. So every time there's a tussle, right? Isn't it? We experience it every day. The eye wants to see something, the hand wants to touch something, feel something, buy something, the mouth wants to eat, taste something. So these senses are constantly bombarding the mind. Arey meri baat suno, arey nahi meri baat suno, arey nahi meri baat suno, arey mera kaam karo. It's like that is what is going on. That is the reason where we feel stress, right? And ultimately we are eternal fragmented parts of Krishna. As you can see over here, Krishna is Satchitananda, so are we. But we are different in quantity. I had given the example of fire and also the ocean drop. So the ocean drop is same, taste is same, but quantity is different. So we are also small fragmented parts of the Lord, right? Now, next two important verses that Krishna tells us is what? Who's going to read these two verses? So basically, the material world, reflection is what Krishna explained. You want to be you want to come back to the spiritual world, where is eternal fragmented parts. We can come back, but these six senses are binding us. It is because of this that we're here. We need to remember. And now he moves further to tell us what next. Okay. So Mataji, you can unmute, please.
Radhe,
Camera is on. Yeah.
unmuted you. Yes.
The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the moods of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this.
Yes. So basically, again, Krishna is saying that we are the body, we're not the body, we're the soul, right? And but the foolish, they cannot understand that the living entity is inside a particular body, and he's under the spell of three modes of material nature. And only when your eyes are trained in knowledge can you understand that, right? So before I read the Bhagavad Gita, I tried to understand the Bhagavad Gita with the help of my spiritual master. I also thought the same. I am Vishal, I am this is Vishal. But no, later on you understand that this body is temporary. Later when I die, this body is going to be here, but what will be going away? My soul will be going away. So that is real knowledge, and that is what we need to understand. Okay, next verse.
Tanishka, I've unmuted you.
Prabhuji, I cannot see the meaning, Prabhuji.
Okay, then someone else who can read what is on the right hand side.
Arnav,
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, now I can see.
Okay, then go ahead, please. Yeah.
The endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. But those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try.
Though they may try. So basically what this verse means is that if you have the right knowledge, okay, then you can actually understand that why someone is born rich, or why there are animals, or why you have got a particular type of body. So if you are in a good family, you have everything that is needed to live comfortably. That means you have done very good deeds. And I'm sure all you kids have done brilliant in the past, because at such a young age, you have an interest in hearing the Bhagavad Gita. You all have reached the 15th chapter. In your holidays, 15 days continuously, you're wanting to understand more, means you all are blessed, right? You have done such good deeds in the past that you are blessed to be born in good families, to get access to all comforts of life, and also to get realization of the truth. And you also have the interest in that. Not everybody. There are so many people who are blessed with all comforts, right? But they are not interested. They want to be more into the things that you can see around. You can touch around, you can enjoy around, because that they feel is life. But that is not the case. We know now, because we're trying to understand from Krishna himself. Krishna, he's given this manual which we need to understand. So in this verse, it's essentially that only, that if your mind is developed and you understand, then you know why you are here, or you at least want to know why you are here, and why a particular category or a species is got. Now we know that the lower species, like the lowest is the trees, above that is aquatic, then birds, that's the categorization that goes. You know that. And if you are not understanding or attempting to understand, then he says the others will not be able to see what is taking place, even though they may try. That means this whole cycle, what you see on the right hand side, a man getting old, dying, again taking birth. Now he could take birth in the human form, or it could be in the lower species. That thing others cannot see. Only someone who is attempting and trying to understand will be able to see this. Okay. Now moving further, another beautiful, important verse. Mataji, your call. Who's going to read this verse?
Dimple, she's keen to read.
Okay, Dimple, go ahead.
I've unmuted you. No?
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Prabhuji.
I am featured in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas.
So we've learned this earlier, that the Lord is situated in our heart. So we have the Paramatma.
This is my favorite sloka.
Yeah, it is a beautiful shloka indeed. That's why there is so much highlighted in red over here. Most important is that he is situated in everyone's heart. So when we look around, sometimes we don't like someone, but at least you have to just think, Are, uske andar bhi, he's also a part and parcel of Krishna. So, sometimes we dislike someone or we feel enmity towards someone. But the solace that we have to give us is that, Are, yaar, chodo. He's also a part of Krishna. He's doing his karma. I have to do my karma. All right. So I'm situated in everyone's heart. From me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So all that we get, we know it comes from him. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. All right. So what is the essence of studying so much, understanding so much? All these big, big books that are there. What is the understanding of all those books? Only one, the Lord, the Supreme Lord. That is the ultimate understanding. All right. So that is the reason so many books are written. But Bhagavad Gita is said to be you can say like a summary or a compact version of everything, right? Everything put in a bullet form, like all these Vedas that you see, all these 4 Vedas, if you have to read, they are like huge. It'll take years and years for a normal person to read and understand them. But it's like if I have to shrink everything, it comes in the Bhagavad Gita. That's what the Lord has done, right? But the key while doing this entire process is focus. Like Arjuna, you've heard so many of his stories in the past, how he managed to shoot, focus on and aim at the eye of a bird. Then we also learned how he got Draupadi's hand in marriage. Why? Managing to see into the reflection and shoot an eye of a moving fish. We learned all that, right? All that came how? Only because of focus. Similarly, if we want to go back to that real banyan tree and not be here in this reflection, what do we need? Focus. Bas, that's all that you need. Focus. Very important. 1 point agenda. But what has to be our focus? Not the attractions of this world. All right. Not the beauty that you see around, not the gadgets that you see around. All that is fine. You use it, fine. But don't be overly obsessed or attached to them. Because ultimately, where your focus has to be is the Supreme Father. And that's where we have to go. Right. Now, coming to the next verse, who's going to read this?
Arnav.
Okay. Go ahead, Arnav.
Yes. Translation. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata.
Yes. So we've done this earlier also. Doubts are like the chains that bind us, right? So here the Lord is saying the same thing. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting. Doubts bind us. So we have to get rid of all our doubts. And whatever doubts are there in your mind, Thursday we'll have Shubhalas Prabhuji answer those doubts, okay? And he will cut off all those ropes, right? So because once that is gone, then you will know everything. And then with full effort and energy and focus, you will be into devotional service. And once you get into devotional service in any way, hearing, chanting, serving, there are multiple ways that we've learned, right? The simplest way, of course, being to chant the Mahamantra, which you see on the screen. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, right? So that being the simplest devotional service, you can do that and then you can attain him. Now, the example that is given in all the Shastras of someone who does devotional service at its best is Narada Muni. And Narada Muni himself, he's always with his veena and all he's doing is chanting the names of the Lord and, spreading his glories and everywhere, wherever he moves intraplanet. He can go in anywhere, all the planets that are there, he can move. He's called the, you can say the, not international, the the spiritual spaceman, I can call him, you know. So like you have spaceman over here, he's the spiritual spaceman. He can go into any place within this creation, because he's a devotee, and he's a ardent devotee, I would say. And he's the one who actually was guru to great other devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. We've heard about him, right? We've heard about Dhruv Maharaj. We've heard about Vyasdev. We've heard about Valmiki Muni, right? All of them. And who's their guru? Narad Muni. So Narad Muni was the one who ignited that fire to know the Lord, to understand the Lord, and then each one got into their form of devotional service. Someone who was a 5-year-old like Dhruv Maharaj, or someone who was in the mother's womb. He was born only a devotee like Prahlad Maharaj. Or someone like who was a hunter doing the wrong things like Valmiki, right? Even he from absolute tamoguna. We learned about the 3 modes, like Ekdam, he was in absolute tamogun. And imagine moving from tamo to Ekdam Shuddha Sattva. What a drastic transformation. But then, because of association with someone as pure as Narad Muni, it became possible, right? So that is what we need, good association. So the bottom line is we have to never ever doubt the Shastras, because the Shastras tell us everything about the Lord. Everything about the Lord comes from the Shastras. So never ever have a doubt. And Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, himself says that if one studies the Vedas, right, but without finding the goal of the Vedas, as Krishna said, I am to be understood from all the Vedas. So that's what Prabhupada is reiterating over here. That if you study the Vedas without finding the goal of Vedas, then you're simply wasting your time. Because why you study for exams, right? You study for knowledge and also to move ahead, right, to the next grade. If you say, no, I'm just studying, agle grade mein nahi jana, what is the use? So if we have to go to the next grade, we have to understand the Lord, which is Krishna. And if we don't do that, then whatever knowledge, whatever we're studying, doing, everything is just a big waste of time. Okay? So now, with all the hands that were raised, and whoever didn't get a chance will get a chance now. And we can take, okay, but whoever wants to take part in take home, what did you learn from today's chapter? Please put up your hands and we will give you a chance. So whoever doesn't want to answer today's thing can put your hands down, and then Mataji will see.
Radha Priya.
Okay, so before that, I'll answer Rasika's question. She has put a question. Suppose I am doing bhakti in this janam. So in my next janam, will I have the same nature, and will I have the same bond with Krishna? Yes, of course. What Krishna has said, bhakti never diminishes. Like today, if you become a scientist or a lawyer or a doctor, next janam you cannot be born, I was already a doctor, my PhD certificate. No, you will have to start from scratch. But in bhakti, that doesn't happen. So in bhakti, whichever stage, the ladder that we discussed about, wherever you have reached, you will begin right from there. Like I was telling you some time back, kids, you all are born with so much of pious credit and bhakti already. That is why you have a taste for hearing. That is why 15 days of your holidays, you are dedicating and listening every day. We started with 175 children. Why only 50, 60, 70 children are left now? Because you all have that taste, right? Their turn will also come, but maybe a little later. So you started right from where you left last time. So Rasika, be rest assured, you already have so much. That's why you're starting so young, right? I hope that answers your question. You will begin from right there, and now think what you left in your last janam, you will complete in this janam. Like you will make sure you do everything so that no more janam is there. Okay. Yes, Mataji. Now we can go ahead with who's going to give the take home for today. I saw Rasika's question in the chat, so I thought. Yes. Your name, dear?
Prabhuji, Radha Priya.
Yeah, Radha Priya. Please go ahead. What's your take home for today?
Prabhuji, I learned about the difference in the spiritual world and the material world.
Okay, tell me some, yeah, I forgot. Tell me some differences.
Prabhuji, in the spiritual world, there is true happiness, but not in material world. It's permanent, but the material world is temporary. There are two relationships, but in material world, they are temporary. The spiritual has no sadness, but in material world there are sadness. In spiritual world, four real problems are absent, but in
Yes.
material world they are present.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you so much, Radhapriya. That was beautiful. Very, very good take home. Thank you. Now, next, Mataji.
Dhwani Kothari. Dhwani, I think.
Okay, before that, I just saw one more question, so I want to answer. Harsh Patil says, "Sir, Earth is not a jail. It is a jail, my friend." And remember, I think we did this just day before when we did chapter 13, where I explained to you Prakriti. Prakriti is the jail, and you may not see the actual bars, but we have the invisible ropes that bind us. That is the three modes of material nature. They're always binding us, so we are in a jail. And I also told you, as soon as you're born or as soon as you go to a jail, what do? First, you change your clothes, right? Similarly, we have 84 lakh different clothes over here. You can choose what you want. Yeah, you can choose that depending on your karma. Of course, you can either be born as an animal or an aquatic or a human. And if you get a human birth, you should be thanking yourself, because this is the junction at which you can move upward again. So it is a jail. And the jailer also, we discussed, Durga Devi. She keeps a full account, full debit, credit, who did what, everything is kept over there. All right. So it is a jail, but the jail has invisible bars. Just remember that. And sometimes what happens, some people feel very happy in a jail also. You know why? Arey, AC लगा है, TV है, सब कुछ comfort है. That's why they get comfortable, but ultimately you're in a jail. Okay.
Dhwani.
Yes.
No.
So I taught difference between material world and spiritual world.
You want to also say that? You want to say some of the differences? Or which
Yes.
difference did you like the most? Tell me that one difference.
Happiness.
Happiness. Okay. Permanent over there, temporary over here. Yeah, so well said, because actually the objective of life is to be happy, right? All of us, what are we looking for? Happiness. The only difference is sometimes we find happiness in the wrong thing. Oh, I got this phone, new one, i12, whatever. I'm so happy. But that's temporary, because tomorrow 13, 14, 15 will come. Then I'll become sad. He has 14, I have 12. So that's temporary. Okay, very well said. Thank you. Next, Mataji.
We have Giriraj. Yes, I've unmuted.
Yes, Giriraj, go ahead.
No, he's not answering. Pratyaksha.
Yes, so we also learned about how the spiritual world looks like. We
Yes.
imagine, and also we should. I also learned about how Narada Muni helped so many bhakts, pure devotees of Lord Krishna,
Become
to
pure devotees.
reach,
Absolutely
and
right.
yes.
So basically, that means if you spend some time with devotees, that rub-off effect comes. That's what it means, So spend some time. You have a circle where you have good devotee friends. When the temple opens up, go to the temple as often as you can. All right. Okay. Now one more question is there, which looks very interesting. So I'm going to answer that. Laksh Khemka says, do we have the same family in our next birth? Now, Laksh, there are two things. Okay. So the family that you have now, by the time you take your next birth, it's not sure whether you'll have the same family. But if you're extremely attached to a family or a house, there is a possibility. There is a possibility, if you've done good deeds, you'll be born in the same family, maybe as the grandson or grandson of grandson. possible. But if you have done bad deeds, then maybe you will be born in the same house and you are very attached to that house. But maybe you will be born in the same house, but you may be born as an animal, a dog who takes care of that house. There is a beautiful story in our Shastras, which is of Kailash. And that story explains how a person who's extremely attached to family and assets of the family is born subsequently, but from a human, he moves down to a dog. And then from a dog, he moves down to a snake in that same family, in the same house. All right. So not necessarily you'll be born in the same family. You could be born if you're over attached, or if you've done good deeds, there's a possibility you'll be born within the same family also, but not necessarily. And anyway, your family will change. Your your existing close family will not remain same, right? It'll change, because the time, we don't know how much time will take for you to come back. Because we have to pay for our things. It's like, when we go back, we have to go through the doors of Yamraj, and where an entire account is kept, debit, credit, good, bad, we have to clear all of that. Okay. Sorry, that question looked interesting, so I was just answering that. Next. Who's going to tell me some more take home for today?
Subhadra, I've unmuted her.
Yes.
I've unmuted you, Subhadra. Okay, Radha Priya. No.
Prabhuji, I learned something that those who reach in the spiritual world will never return on the material world.
Yes, that's another very important take home. That's a very important take home. Yes, very well said. Very well said.
Mishika wants to say.
Yes, Mishika.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I learned that we should trust Krishna without doubting about.
Yes, that's another very important thing. If you have any doubts in the words of Krishna or in the Shastras, then you very well said, Mishika. Absolutely
Prabhuji,
right.
I also have a question.
Yes, Mishika, go ahead.
In the spiritual world, will we live with bodies or only the soul?
So basically, you have spiritual bodies. So you have bodies, but it's spiritual. Like this body is subject to old age, death. That body is not, that is eternal. Right? So that body is eternal. That is what it is. Like Krishna has a Satchitananda, he has an eternal body. Right? Now, one more question. Vaidehi says, I know it's a jail, but we still have happiness here. Absolutely, Vaidehi. Yes, you have happiness here. You come first in class, you're very happy. But the next year, if you come third in class, you'll become sad. Right? You'll be very happy if you go on a holiday. But when you have to come back, return flight, sometimes you're sad. You're very happy if you're fine, fit. But when you're unwell, you're sad. So there is happiness. No doubt, Krishna is saying there is happiness. It's a reflection of the spiritual world. So happiness will be there, but it's temporary. As we did in the difference. There is temporary happiness. No doubt you will get happiness, but temporary. It's not permanent. You think in your own life, whenever you have been happy, has it lasted permanent? Have you never been sad? Think. Okay? I hope that answers your question, Vaidhi. You can put it in the chat so I'll know. And I think we'll do one last thing because I think Daksha Mataji is coming for the shloka.
She's already in.
Daksha Mataji, no? Okay. So then I think we should go ahead with the shloka. Daksha Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, over to you with the shloka. I'll just take it to that slide, Mataji. Just a second.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, children. So happy to be with you all once again. So today we are going to do a very special shloka. You know why it is special? Because this shloka, it describes Golok Vrindavan. You know what is Golok Vrindavan? It is the abode of Krishna. So you want to know how is that abode of Krishna? Already Vishal Prabhu has explained to you all how is that abode of Krishna. So this shloka you should learn. So you will You will have it fixed in your mind. How is that abode of Krishna? And you will never forget. And you will always think, yeah, wow, this abode is so nice. I have to go over there. So let us see what is there in this abode of Krishna. All right. So we will go with the first word. Na tad. So you all will repeat after me. All right. Everyone should have their lips moved. Okay. Lip movement should be seen. I'm going to see. All right. So that you all will learn it now only, this shloka. If you repeat after me nicely, no, so you can learn it now only. Na tad. This is a very easy word. Na tad. Na tad. Bhasayate. Bhasayate. Bhasayate means illuminated. Bhasayate. Suryo. This is also a very easy word. Suryo. Suryo. So, na tat bhasayate suryo means that abode is not illuminated by the sun. अरे sun illuminate नहीं करेगा तो फिर रोशनी कैसे आएगा वहां पे? But that abode, it is not illuminated by the moon also. तो लेकिन moon भी नहीं देगा तो फिर how will we get light? Nor even fire. So we'll see the next line, then I'll tell you what is that. Second line, na sashanko. Na sashanko. Na sashanko. Sashanko means moon. Next word, na pavakaha. Na pavakaha. Pavakaha means fire. Na pavakaha. So that abode of Krishna is not illuminated by sun, nor by moon, nor by fire. So it is such a special abode, and we will all be very excited to see that abode. No, वहाँ पे sun नहीं है, moon नहीं है, fire नहीं है, सब कुछ self illuminous है. And in our universe, we have only one self illuminous planet. And in that universe, in Krishna's universe, all the planets are self illuminous. So in our universe, which is the one planet which is self illuminous? In the chat box, which is one planet which is self illuminous? Yes, sun. Sun is the only planet. But in Krishna's planet, in Krishna's Golok Vrindavan, all the planets which are known as Vaikunthas, they are all self-illuminous. So there is no need of Surya, there is no need of moon, there is no need of fire. And what happens when we go to that abode? So next line, Yat Gatva. Yat Gatva. No, sun is not a star, sun is a planet. Yat Gatva. Na Nivartante. So what do you mean by Yat Gatva? Means once, if somebody goes over there, he does not come back. Gatva means goes over there. Na Nivartante. Na Nivartante. So we will see the first three lines first. Na tat bhasayate suryo, na sashanko na pavakaha, yat gatva na nivartante. All right, so this will be the meter. We will repeat again this shloka. All right. So what will happen once somebody goes over there? He doesn't come back to this material world. Tat dhama, last line. Tat dhama. Tat dhama. So when one goes into that abode, dham means into that abode. Paramam mama. How is that dham? It is supreme. Paramam. Repeat after me. Paramam. 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 Mama. Mama means my abode. Mama. So that this is the last line. Tadhama paramam mama. So when one goes to Krishna's planet, when one goes to Golok Vrindavan, one doesn't come back to this earth. And that abode is so very special. वहां पे जाके एग्जाम देने की जरूरत नहीं है. Nobody has to give exam. सबको पूरा knowledge हो जाता है. Everybody is educated over there. So you don't have to study, you don't have to give exam. हर साल अरे exam है, ये है, वो है. Nothing like that. It is eternal abode. So everything is over there is absolute. Everything is eternal. And so we should all aspire to go over there. And how can we go over there? By associating with the devotees of Krishna, by chanting the holy names of Krishna, by listening about Krishna. So this is the way we can go to Krishna's eternal abode. Very interesting, no? कुछ भी नहीं करना है वहां पे. It is a life, eternal life, where there is no worries are there. So we will repeat this shloka. Na tat bhasyate suryo न शशांको न पावकः यत् गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. Please repeat after me, all right? Repeat with me. न तत् भासयते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावकः यत् गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. One last time. न तत् भासयते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावकः यत् गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम paramam mama. All right, so this is the shloka for today. I'll put this shloka in our group, on our group, so y'all can listen to it and y'all can learn it. All right, thank you all so much. Over to you, Vishal Prabhu.
Thank you so much, kids. Y'all are always a wonderful audience. And tomorrow we meet for chapter 16. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed the class. And see you tomorrow. Till then, Hare Krishna, Srila Bhagavad Gita ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.